Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is Combat Sports News for the 3rd of December 2018. I'm here, still K from KocoSports.net. That's KoCSports.net. It's where the world goes to get cash in for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Apologies, I've been inactive over the past 5 days. Very rarely does work and other things actually, as an adult, become a bit of a pain, and for this fucking strangest reason in the world, work has just been a pain. I've actually had plans that evolve late nights. I'm able to come on here in the evening, but looking forward to get back into things. With today's edition of the show, going to talk about lots of wrestling news, a bit of MMA news, a bit of boxing news. And I want to start off with the big one, and that is that PAC versus Ospreay over the weekend was announced for the Revolution Pro Wrestling High Stakes event that will take place in the York Hall on the 15th of February 2019. Already sold out in the fastest sellout I'm pretty bummed, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I actually planned on getting some tickets. I really wanted to see PAC versus Ospreay, but I guess I'm going to have to wait till it comes out on demand. And I'm just psyched for this match. I think it'll be absolutely bloody brilliant. Obviously, lots of people, when PAC left WWE, were hoping, some of them were hoping he'd go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you follow me and you remember me back then, I've said I hope he goes to Dragon Gate. He's done so. He'll be facing a Masato Yoshida for the King of Gate title, which is the equivalent of the Dragon Gate Heavyweight Championship, coming up on the 4th of December, which is this morning. Depending on where you live in the world. And let me quickly check that my stream hasn't frozen right now. Give me a second. Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course it happens. Just my rotten luck, isn't it? And I'm going to carry on. Fingers crossed that the stream's still going. Let me quickly check the live stream, see if the live stream's still going. I have no idea why. It sort of a sudden crashed. There we go. We got nothing. Let's see if we can still hear me. There we go. I think I'm back now. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. We're back. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea why that just all of a sudden froze. Strangest thing in the world. But yeah, I'm really pumped for this. And obviously the announcement of PAC versus Zack Sabre Jr. as well for Rev Pro, and I think that's January the 7th. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember the date off the top of my head, but that's going to be a banger. That's live at the Cockpit in London. So great stuff from PAC, and I remember he's also announced to return to IPW, and like I said, he's wrestling Masato Yoshida. For the Dragon Gate Heavyweight title coming up tomorrow. Get results on that tomorrow on this very show. Let's talk a little bit about Sage Northcutt. He left the UFC. The contract expired. He didn't get fired or any of that shenanigans. His contract was just left to expire, and that's what happened. And he has joined One Championship, which is another mixed martial arts promotion similar to Bellator, that isn't as big as UFC, but signing lots of mainstream talent. And they signed Demetrius Johnson as well, former UFC champ, longest reigning, and had a major undefeated record, as well as Sage Northcutt now. He's joined the mix. He's a good-looking guy. I remember lots of people said that he kept getting booked for fights because of how good he looks. I mean, he is a good-looking man, but he went 6-2 in the UFC in both lightweight and welterweight. So it's not like this guy's in wrestling terms, jobber. He has got victories. I know he did lose one. It's just I don't know. What the thing is with MMA is so many new promotions come up. It's like the issue of wrestling it has at the minute. There's so much good stuff out there. It's kind of sometimes you have to just kind of, let me move my mic a little bit. Sometimes you have to just kind of sit back and go, fuck me, there's a lot to watch. Like I know some people watch bits and pieces of there and there, and some people try to watch all of it. I mean, I for one try to keep on top of as much as I possibly can, but with work and real life bullshit, it is a trouble sometimes. But MMA is becoming like that. I mean, you got Ryzen in Japan. We've got a big show coming up in January. In late December, you got Bellator, you got UFC, you got One Championship now coming up, and it's a pain in the damn ass. As great as it is, and the variation is great, especially in wrestling right now. I mean, so many people are getting into Japanese pro wrestling. I mean, I for one will be doing a video on the DDT The King Grand Prix coming up in about 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes whenever I finish wrapping this bad boy up. And I'm going to recap the first night. I'm playing catch up tomorrow. I've got a day off work, and I'm not training or anything. So I'm going to sole focus as DDT Universe, and I'm going to smash, bash, and trash my way through about 4 days worth. So expect a marathon recap tomorrow, as well as I'm going to watch Raw tomorrow. I'm not going to watch it live because I have to get up early in the morning, so I've got to go for a carb for breakfast. But that's not for debate. That's happening. Whether I like it or not, I will have to have that car-free breakfast. It's kind of a duty job. But yeah, Sage Northcutt has joined one championship. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Let's just talk about it. Ended a draw, lost money. And it was a fun fight. Wilder knocking Fury out and Fury just sitting back up. It's just got to be one of the biggest GIFs videos people have used in donks. I know there's a video, again, I would give credit for any social media, so I can't remember what crazy son of a bitch did it, but they did this gimmick where, basically, if you haven't watched the fight yet, Wilder knocked Fury down. So Fury, basically, we didn't bump, he kind of crumbled. And he sat up, literally, just before the ref was going to go to the 10, and basically, like The Undertaker got up, and there's a GIF video online, went viral of the Undertaker's gong, the Undertaker's music hitting as Fury sat up, which was really cool. And I got the earnings according to ESPN's Dan Raphael. Deontay Wilder with $4 million and Tyson Fury with $3 million. So a nice little paycheck, should we say, for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I'm assuming there's going to be lots of live chat about Fury and Wilder, so I'll get to them in due time. But was it a draw? I understand how you can think that, but I understand people's arguments against it. Let's just leave it at that before I get into trouble. What else have we got here? Mark Hunt. He has left the UFC on his Instagram. He left a thank you, as well as on the UFC's Instagram machines. They also left a thank you message. He was on the UFC Fight Night Adelaide. He lost via unanimous decision to Justin Willis. And obviously, if you guys remember, if you've been following the sport of MMA for a long time, or even it's kind of got involves, pro wrestling's got Brock Lesnar involved. There was a lawsuit with Mark Hunt and the UFC, Dana White in particular, and Brock Lesnar after the UFC 200 fight where Brock was juiced up. And now he's going to go, and obviously there's lots of promotions. We could see him in one championship. We could see him end up in Bellator, Ryzen. There's lots of promotions that Mark Hunt could end up in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I remember watching a banger, and I mean a banger of a fight. It was against, Derek Lewis, and I'm trying to think of where it was. It was in Auckland. UFC Auckland was where that fight was, because that was a banger of a fight. I remember really, really enjoying that. But Mark Hunt is off, and wish him well, and fingers crossed he lands somewhere good. What else we got here? Let's try and see where we can go. Let's see if we can go New Japan. Let's go New Japan Tag League. Updates, standings after day 13. Congratulations if you have survived all 13 days. I've been hit and miss. I've been keeping up with it, keeping up to date with what's going on, as well as watching matches from here and there. But this is what took place this morning in Kochi. Sanada and Evil defeated Best Friends. Ishii and Yano defeated Hanare Makabe. Cobb and Elgin defeated Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. Kill Elite Squad defeated Finley and Juice. Page and Takahashi defeated Kojima and Tenzon. GOD defeated Manabu Nakanishi and Yuji Nagata, and Suzuki and Lizuka defeated Yoshida and Shota Yamino. Excuse me. Where are we? So the standings are of now. GOD on 16 points. Evil and Sanada on 16 points. Ishii and Yano on 16 points. KES on 14. Juice and Finley on 12. Elgin and Cobb on 12. Best Friends on 10. Sabre Jr. and Taichi on 10. Suzuki, Lizuka 10. Page and Takahashi. Hanare Makabe on 8, and then you got Kojima and Tenzon on 6, and Nagacha and Nakanishi on 2, and Yoshida and Yamino on 0. Obviously, they're young lions going 0 and 10, but that's understandable. But a boom. Oh, what have we got there? But a decent tournament, nothing spectacular. I'm not going to come out and say it's been the best, fucking tournament in New Japan Wrestling history, but it's been a solid tournament with some good matches on, so it's worth your time if you have New Japan World. Speaking of tag leagues, you guys need to check out the All Japan Tag League at the minute. It's been absolutely fire. Noah as well, just coming off their global league. Go check out excuse me, go check out Noah. That's on progressivedream.wordpress.com. Some results for the MLW Fusion show. Simon Gotch defeated Ariel Dominguez in just over a minute and a half. Tommy Dreamer defeated Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman Jr. is a good one. That's interesting to see how his career will take off. And what was a banger? I've seen this match. It was a really, really good match. The MLW World Tag Titles, Lucha Brothers defeating LA Park and Hijo de la Park. to retain the belts in 20 minutes. This was a really good match, and I recommend you guys to go over to the MLW YouTube channel and check this out, because this really, really was a great match. That's definitely worth your time. And, you know, LA Park, he's a 53-year-old man, and the guy is absolutely insane. Talk a little bit about Evolve, and you can see in the title it says Evolve and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong will be wrestling on Evolve. He'll be wrestling on Evolve 117 and 118 coming up December 15th and December 16th. Some good-looking cards. I'll read you the top matches build for Evolve 117. So you have the Evolve champion Fabian Aichner, NXT star. He'll be defending the Evolve title against Roderick Strong and Austin Theory in a triple threat. There's no way Austin Theory won't get signed to WWE. The guy's incredible. Big fan of the guy. Much respect. And then that's obviously if he wants to. You know, who knows what Austin Theory's goal is, but Evolve and WWE being kind of in a way under the WWE umbrella, you would think that they do want to get signed if you're wrestling for the Evolve. And again, if you're listening live, please feel free to put anything you wish into the live chat, and I'll read it once I've finished breaking down all these news stories I got up in front of me. And then we have Street Profits defending the Evolve Tag Team titles against the WWN champion JD Drake and Anthony Henry. And if Drake gets pinned, he'll lose the WWN title if he gets pinned. Then we have Cassius Ohno versus Darby Allin, and AR Fox versus Kurt Stallion. I bet that'll be a banger. And then Evolve 118, December 16th, Fabian Aichner defending against AR Fox for the Evolve title. If he's still champion, of course. The Street Profits again defending against Austin Theory and Harlem Bravado. And listen to this: Roderick Strong versus Darby Allin, and Cassius Ohno versus Anthony Henry. Oof, that sounds like a really good match there. Definitely worth your time, that. And then we have an injured NXT talent. Yeah, if the fucking thing ever loads, has returned. Riddick Moss returned to NXT Live event in Jacksonville and Tampa, Florida over this weekend. He lost both nights to Fabian Aichner, the Evolve champion, and Matt Riddle on Friday. But good news to have Riddick Moss back. I like seeing talent come back from injury. Always have and always will. Wish him all the best. It'll be interesting to see kind of where he goes, and whether wasn't he with Tino Sabatelli, if I'm right, in an NXT tag team? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't remember who he's teamed up with, but I definitely think of him and remember him being in a team. So it'll be fascinating to see if he comes back in that team or not. Because I remember Tino Sabatelli. He was on that not Breaking Bad. That's a fucking television show, you dozy twats. It was Breaking Ground. Breaking Ground is on the WWE Network. The XFL, the cities have been revealed for the season. The morons, they were meant to be announcing them, and they're scheduled to announce them on the 5th. However, that was revealed on the XFL's website themselves that the teams will be Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, St. Louis, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington, D.C. That doesn't mean anything to me because I don't follow American football, NFL, so that doesn't mean nothing to me. But if you're following, the American football, there you go. That might mean something to you. The thing is with American football, not to go off a tangent here, but he says that as he's about to do it. I understand it. I've played Maiden. I've watched loads of games on Sky Sports, and I've watched highlights on the NFL show on BBC. I just find that there's so many games all the time, it's hard to keep on top of it. And I understand if you've got your team, you just follow your team and, you look at some results and maybe some highlights on YouTube and Twitter machines and stuff like that. And I get that. But I don't have a team. And then that's a problem. And if I pick a team, it'll be, you picked them. And there's got to be some form of connection as to why you pick a team. I can't just be like, I'll pick the New England Patriots because they win. I'm guessing they win still. Here we go. This is a funny one. Apparently, according to Mike Johnson, this is a direct quote. Dolph Ziggler would appear. He signed a new deal based on how he's being used. Okay, I'm not reading that. Get that off my screen now. Based on how he's being used. Jeez, I could come on here and say based on how he's being used. Dolph Ziggler is actually being used on television. That means he's re-signed. Horrible. Ring of Honor is signed two new talents. PCO, former Pierre Carl in WWE, who was the WWF Tag Team Champion as well as a WCW Hardcore Champion, and Brody King. He's been in I remember him from PWG one time. He's been signed to Ring of Honor as well. This is kind of, in my opinion, the way I'm looking and judging this is Ring of Honor maybe losing Cody, Bucks, and Omega, so they're kind of trying to build up talent and establish some talent, especially Punishment Martinez gone. Silas Young re-signed as well, which is really good because I think Silas Young's great talent. Really enjoy his work. Really underrated, actually, criminally underrated. And I don't agree with using that word, but when I mean underrated, I mean not a lot of people talk about it when they should. But yeah, they're good for Ring of Honor actually signing some talent, and they're not just going mainstream. They can maybe build them up and help establish them like they did back in the day. And this is a strange one. I left this to one of the end before I'm going to do kind of a mini breakdown of the TLC card. Aleister Black, okay, apparently, according to sites, has got married to Selena Vega. I have no idea why this is on news websites, so I thought, fuck it, if they can do it, I can do it. And I was just like, okay, cool, good for them. I don't get why that really matters to these guys, but hey ho. So the WWE has announced new title matches for the TLC pay-per-view coming up on the 16th of December. And it's The Bar. They'll be defending their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Usos and the New Day in a triple threat. Hopefully this becomes a ladder match. Again, just my hope as a fan. Watching this as a fan, I hope this becomes a ladder match because I think it'll be a really great match. So the card is, you got Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Expect it to be great. Pending injuries, Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin in a TLC match, as we talked about on the Combat Sports News Extra on the 27th. We have the TLC Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's title. The Bar versus the Usos versus New Day, as I just said. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the IC title. Bobby Lashley versus Elias, and Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. Matches that, in all sense of purposes, this could be a really good, solid pay-per-view. Obviously, it'll just be depending on the booking and how that unfolds. It will be very interesting, and I'm very intrigued to see how the booking goes for this show, because on paper, looking at this, and again, you don't want to judge a wrestling show on paper because a lot of factors can determine whether a show is good or bad. It looks like a good show. I mean, Brian AJ, you're not going to have a bad bloody WWE title match, are you? Really? There's no way even WWE could muck that up. New little thing. We're going to do a so I fucking break this really nice chair. Fucking moron. So today in pro wrestling history, I went on the Wrestling Observer website. I'll give them a cheap plug. I'm not a subscriber or anything. It's just they do a dick. So I just typed in daily pro wrestling history and today's date. It didn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure it out. But so on today's date in 1991, there was WWF Tuesday in Texas, where Randy Savage defeated Jake Roberts, Bret Hart defeated Skinner to retain the IC title, Ric Flair defeated Roddy Piper, and then Hulk Hogan pinned The Undertaker to win the WWF World title, but the title was held up and decided at the Royal Rumble. That's obviously where the Ric Flair won in 1992. Lots of WCW stuff. Ron Simmons defeated the Barbarian in 1992 to retain the WCW World title. Vader defeated Ricky Steamboat in 1992 on this date. Where else are we? We got not much there. 1994, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The Gangsters defeat the Rock and Roll Express. Cactus Jack and Brian Lee defeated Chris Candido and Boo Bradley. In 1998, listen to this, King Kong Bundy defeated Romero Valentino for the Maryland Championship Wrestling Heavyweight title. ECW Massacre on 34th Street in New York, held on this day in 2000. Steve Corino defeated Jerry Lynn and Justin Credible to retain the ECW Heavyweight title. Rhino pinned Spike Dudley to retain the TV title. Remember both those matches, actually. And then ECW December to December 2006, in my opinion, the worst WWE produced pay-per-view of all time. And Bobby Lashley won the ECW title in an Extreme Elimination Chamber match over the Big Show, Van Dam, CM Punk, Test, and Hardcore Holly. Yeah, that wasn't a really good show, was it? Let's call a spade a spade. So there we have it. I'm going to get to the live chatteroony and see what we're dealing with here, guys. As my phone doesn't update, because it wants to be that type of phone to this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoy Raw. this evening. Also want to talk about, and again, I've seen someone put this in the chat, and that's annoying because I actually wanted to talk about that in particular. Annabelle, so what's up, LK? I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. Hopefully you guys are doing well too. Again, apologies for that lack of content the past few days. It's just I've been, it was like Thursday night. I had work till 8, then a manager's meal, and then we went out. So that way, Friday I stayed in because I was absolutely hungover until about 1 o'clock. Then I'd work 2 to 11 on Friday. Then I was knackered and tired because I was hungover working. Then I went to sleep early. Then Saturday I had worked 2 to 11, went out, watched the fight at a sports bar, came back Sunday tired, hungover. Last night I watched the first night of the DDT, the King Grand Prix Tour, and then I was like, fuck man, I've got to go to bed because I'm absolutely bad. Fury versus Wild was great, I agree. Yuri Break says, the Raging Englishman. Glad to see you back, LK. Indeedo. Won't be as bad as I used to be. I tell you that now. I have to tone it down, sadly. Noe Lara says, what's up? Good evening. Zach Rose says, the look on Wilder's face when Fury got up was priceless. I agree. That's storytelling at its peak. Like, that's just brilliant. Foster Club says, howdy, okay. Good evening. Zach Rose says, the result was a tough one. I wanted to see Fury get the win for multiple reasons. I don't think Wilder was boxing at his best, but flooring him twice would have scored him some points. That's the thing. It's a really, like, you would think that because Wilder floored him, you would think, okay, automatically, but this is just what, I'm not the biggest boxing guy. I'm an MMA and major wrestling guy. So it's like wrestling, MMA, boxing, like when it comes to my knowledge and understanding of it. And I watched that again. I was very drunk. So bits that I remember, I was like, okay, it's fine. Wilder's got the win here. He's knocked him down several times and it just didn't happen. Zach Crow says, I remember when Mark Hunt was in K1. Oof. Yuri Break says, Jack Swagger Bellator debut January 26th. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I thought I had that up. Maybe I actually have it up here, guys. Give me 1 second. No, I don't have it up here on the laptop gimmick. Jack Swagger, like he said, will be debuting on the January 26th for Bellator MMA, and his opponent has been announced. I can't remember it off the top of my head, which is really fucking annoying. Zach Crow says, I didn't watch the All Japan Tag League, but I did watch the Global League. There was some really good matches. Shame that not too many people are interested in Noah these days. Once I'm back in the groove and I'm back in the routine of things, 100% be recapping Noah. And again, you got to remember, guys, and I'm not going to say this once I'm more regularly into this, but I am training, so I kind of don't want to come in here and go, this show was shit, this show was shit, this show was great, and suck up to people or fuck people over or say this about them and say derogatory things. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to affect any future, things. That's why when I said to Dave, I was like, we need to do something because I've missed podcasting so much, where I can be a person who gives results, gives recaps, gives opinions. It's like when we did the Raw recaps last week. It was the show was terrible, but I gave best match of the night, best moment of the night, 3 stars of the night. Like, it's a way that I can still talk, I can still do my thing, I can still have fun, I can still just talk on the podcast because I just love it without affecting me in the future. Like, it's just common sense when you really, really think about it. But yeah, you need to watch some All Japan Tag League, bro. Some fucking really good stuff going on there. Zach Crow says, losing the Elite might be a blessing in disguise. Who knows? And it'll be interesting to see how Ring of Honor does this. I'm glad they're signing some stars. Fingers crossed they can sign as many young stars as they can. Anna Brown says, Cody and Brandy were spotted at the Jacksonville Jaguars game in the press box. I did notice that on Twitter. It was going a lot around, and obviously there's a lot of talk of this All Elite Wrestling. It's an interesting one because there's a lot of big money people involved in this, and I don't want to say it's going to be competition because you don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be a weekly television format like MLW, like Lucha Underground, like Ring of Honor, Impact? Is it going to be a monthly pay-per-view by pay-per-view? What is it going to be? What TV station is it going to be? Is it going to be on their own network? Is it going to be on YouTube? Who knows? And Zach Crow says, you think December to Dismember was worse than Crown Jewel? Yes, generally. I think Crown Jewel had a Seth Rollins Dolph Ziggler match that was enjoyable. I can't remember a good thing about December to Dismember generally. But there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're listening live, listening post live, thank you very much. The same. Again, lucky people, if you've got tickets to PAC versus Ospreay, I'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes. Going to have a slight refreshment, go to the toilet. Go to the, what is it? What do they call it? The little kids' room. That's what they call it at pubs, don't they? In England, little kids' room. I never understood the joke. Maybe it's a dirty one, and I shouldn't have said it. But there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the toilet. Gonna make myself a. I think I'm gonna have some more orange juice. I'm going to have some orange juice. I'm going to refresh myself, and then I'm going to give a quick recap on the first night of the DDT Dickens Grand Prix that took place on the 27th of November, because I'm going to plan on doing the whole tour so you guys can follow it date by date. And there's a lot of match recommendations from that first night. So be on the lookout for that. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm back for Combat Sports News tomorrow on the 4th with some Raw results and all the news coming out of this show. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out KocoSports.net, at KocoSports on Twitter. I'm at LK Wrestling on Twitter. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll be catching your asses.